All right, peace, peace and love, family. Peace and love, family. Um, spent the last couple of minutes, well, about 30 minutes, trying to log into my laptop. Couldn't get that to work, but so I'm just using my phone again. Greetings, welcome to another evening of fighting blight. We are fighting blight at ANSOTH. I'm Brother Tinker. ANSOTH I'm the CEO and founder of ANSOTH, which is a community-driven real estate development holding company. And we are on a mission to fight blight. Our mission with that is to focus on the undeserved neighborhoods, want to transform them into communities, right? Communities are spaces where people own, operate, and manage and govern said space, right? And we do that by the acquisition of land, renovation, revitalizing the area, and giving the members of the community ownership. So that's what we're about. And here lately, we are focusing on blight. And got my notes here. Want to stay focused and not get off course. I may do that anyway, but nevertheless, I'm going to try and stay on course. Going to get the viewers time to connect. Give the viewers time to connect and see what we are about. Okay. All right. I'm out at the undisclosed location, the homestead, and just figured that I'd come outside and get some fresh air. And before we get started, greetings, Queen Catrice. Thank you for viewing in. All right. Yeah, so we got a great evening for you. Just want to continue the conversation about blight. And of course, those of you that don't know, blight is the abandonment of property. It's boarded up, vacant, and it's a lot of things, but it's something that we should not be beholding. All right. But it's the abandonment of property, and it's really an issue in the great city of Jackson, right? Okay, we're going to do some housekeeping here as I get wounded up, cranked up, or whichever the case is. Again, ANSOTH is a community-driven real estate development company, and we have special interest in undeserved neighborhoods, and where we want to transform those neighborhoods, those areas into community, right? And we do this by the acquisition of land, holding workshops, helping the people to understand blight, the economic damages of it, the social and mental effect that blight has on an individual and a community of people. But we also, at the same time, do not want, the people to be discouraged, because blight is just really an abandonment of duty. And we say it like that. And the way that we change it is that we have to teach, as I said, the effects of blight, All right. So And we want to always encourage our brothers and sisters to go out and purchase a blighted piece of property, especially if you're in the proximity of it. If it's down the street, around the corner, or somewhere on your block in your neighborhood, we want to encourage you to go out and purchase a blighted property, because that's going to ultimately benefit you and your descendants and your neighborhood. Okay, and if you can't do it on your own, I encourage you to go out and get with your homeboys, get with family members, and go out and purchase some blighted property. Okay. So all around us, it appears that everybody is winning, right? It appears that everybody's winning, and we are not. Well, let me just say this. Don't be alarmed. The only reason that everyone else is winning and we are not is because we have not really entered the game. We haven't entered the game, okay? Understand that New Africans are 82% of the population in the capital city, and there should be no reason why we should not be owning 82% of the assets. Now, I know that others have gotten a head start, but that's okay. There in the city of Jackson is wide open. It's for sale. The city of Jackson is for sale. And believe you me, people are buying up Jackson. And in their minds, they're hoping that it falls even further, in certain areas, but we know that there are areas in Jackson that are growing, they're flourishing, and we should not be upset with them, because, they're just taking care of business. And there's no reason why we should not be taking care of business either. And these places are nice. People, they're concerned about, where they live, what's around them, the safety and the economics of it. And that's no more than right for people to have concern for their communities. All right. And one thing that we should do is stop putting spells on what we are not going to do, putting spells on each other and saying what we're not going to do. Okay. You oftentimes hear that. Well, they're not going to do this. They ain't going to do that. Well, you just creating that mindset in your spirit, and your spirit making sure that you don't do it. Okay. So let's stop doing that. And always, we want to encourage you that if you see a piece of blighted property and you want to purchase it, or you want to report it, give us connect with us at www.ansoth.com. All right. If you want to become a real estate enthusiast, someone that you may already be in the game, but let us help you improve your game. All right. We can help you improve your game, and can also do things on a collective level. Okay. But if you are he or she that wants to improve your real estate development skills and want to connect to other people that are into real estate, if you just simply want to know more about it, connect with us at www.ansoth.com. All right. If you are a contractor and you want to become a vetted subcontractor, if you are a subcontractor and you want to become a vetted subcontractor with us, go to www.ansoth.com. All right. And connect with us, fill out the little form, and we will respond. We are still now updating our system, making sure we went from one system to another, and we're just trying to get this thing set up on automation. So we've had quite a few people to fill out the form and submit it, and y'all just hold tight. We're still trying to work out the kinks. If you are an individual that simply wants to share your ideas, and you got that energy behind the blight, here's what you can do. www.ansoth.com. Connect with us. All right. All right. So we're on Facebook. We're on TikTok. We're also on YouTube. And let's see, Facebook, YouTube, and is it Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. All right. Okay. So today I want to give you 10 reasons to be concerned about blight. That's 10 reasons to be concerned about blight. All right. All right. Blighted houses, and as we already said, they drag down the value of every nearby home. Okay, hurting homeowners' equity and blocking neighborhoods from building wealth. When even one house becomes blighted, it's like a cancer in the body. Okay, it's like a cancer in the body of the community, and just like cancer, it spreads, dragging down the value of everything around it, every nearby home. Okay. That means that hardworking families, they lose their equity. And we talked about equity, all right? We talked about equity and how you can use it to your advantage, how you can use equity to build generational wealth, okay? And it also means that blight, it weakens the foundation of a neighborhood, right? It robs it of its wealth. Instead of homes appreciating, all right, assets that build stability, they become financially trapped. So appreciation is increasing in value. Depreciation is decreasing in value. Okay, both of those. The blight robs families of wealth that they've earned and deserve. Okay. All right. Number 2. Okay. Blight attracts crime. No ifs and buts about it. That's what it does. Okay. Abandoned buildings become magnets for illegal activity, making streets less safe. All right. The families, the children's, and businesses. Right. That's what it does. Making streets less safe for family, children, and businesses. Abandoned houses is just not empty. They occupy danger. That's right. They occupy danger. They become hideouts for drug activity. That's a well-known fact. And also for illegal dumping and violence. That's what it can be, a haven for that. Okay, so families no longer feel safe when they're walking the block. All right, children can't play freely around blighted properties. They do. They play around blighted property, but do they really feel free? But they don't want to be cooped up, and so they get out and they play, and those houses are nest eggs for illegal activities and whatnot. Businesses, they close early and they never open at all. So crime flourishes where neglect is tolerated. Does that make sense? When you stay next door to a blighted property and you are not involved, when you neglect that blighted property, I'm not telling you what may happen if you neglect it, if that property is being neglected. Okay? it's going to have the tendency to flourish. There's nothing that's going to come out of its kind. Nothing, right? Money begets money. Love begets love. Poverty begets poverty. All right? People begets people. And blight begets blight. Now, on the other hand, fighting blight begets the annihilation of blight, right? It's just having a made-up mind. All right, another thing, blight often, this is 3, it's a health hazard, okay? It's a health hazard, okay? So blight often brings pests and mold, trash, that creates unsafe and healthy living environments. When people see property, and that's people that are not concerned about where they live, about their community, when they see blighted property and they see trash on it, they're going to bring over more trash, okay? So abandoned houses are not just empty, they are occupied with danger. They are occupied with danger. So those are not just empty houses. They're dangerous houses, okay? All right? And so we have to be mindful about that, all right? All right, 4, lost revenues, okay? And we're talking about 10 reasons to be concerned about blight. So number 4 is when properties sit vacant, all right? The city loses tax income, okay? When the properties are vacant, the city loses tax income. I want to say bring up something here. Oh, okay. Yeah, so, all right. So vacant properties don't pay their share. Starving cities of tax income. That means fewer dollars for schools, parks, libraries, and basic services. Every empty house is money lost from our children's education or roads or health care and other future benefits. Blight robs a city of the lifeblood it needs to function, right? So a lot of people complain about, the city's not doing this, the city's not doing that. Well, that's like, if I may say, people that's not working, all right, and complaining about they don't have nothing to eat. Now, we're talking about healthy people that's able to work. We're talking about healthy bodies that's able to work but don't work, okay? They have no reason to complain. And so in that same instance, that if we as a community of people are not are just letting blight be, the city loses taxes, and so therefore the programs, different programs that they would be able to finance and whatnot, it does not. They don't finance them because the money is not there. Okay. So those are the results of lost tax revenue. Want to jump back to health hazards, right? And I have here, blight is a public health crisis, right? And by that, you got rotten wood, standing water, trash pile, moles, rats, pests, mouse, mosquitoes. They breathe sickness, right? They breathe sickness. That's why it's a health trap. It's a health hazard. Okay. Fire risk, for blighted property, it goes up because you have people in there and especially during the winter, they're trying to stay cold. I was trying to stay warm in the cold from, shelter from the cold. They light a fire. Next thing you know, the structure is up in flame. Okay, so and then also, there's unsafe structure. They collapse. After so long, that property has been there. It's been open to the elements. The structure begins to weaken, right? And so what looks like just another abandoned house is an actual incubator for asthma, disease, and trauma, right? So blighted literally poison our body, okay? And it shortens our lives. That's what blight does, okay? That's the health hazard of blight, okay? 1 second here. All right, also, all right, number 5, neighborhood stigmas. Boarded up homes gives outsider the impression that a community is unsafe or unwanted. It reinforces that negative stereotype, okay? So boarded up home screams abandonment, abandonment. I don't think anyone really wants to live next door to an abandoned property. Certainly I don't, okay? Now, outsiders, they see this, they see it, they say it's a bad neighborhood. Not families struggling with systemic neglect. So they automatically, and this is outsiders, they automatically see when they look at a blighted property is that, that it's been abandoned and this is a bad neighborhood. Rather than saying that, this is a family that's struggling from a system that has repeatedly sought to neglect those areas. And here again, that's why they called underserved areas, okay? So there's a negative stereotype that goes on there, and it reinforces when they see blighted properties, okay? Young people grow up believing that their community isn't worth saving, okay? So blight damaged the spirit as much as it damaged the street, the appearance, okay? And this is the negative stigma that's attached to blighted property, okay? And this is why you should be concerned about blight, all right? It discourages investment. This is number 6. It discourage investment. So business avoid blighted areas, leading to fewer local jobs, fewer services, and limited economic opportunity. Understand this, and this is something that we really got to understand. No business wants to set up next to decay. That's what I was saying earlier. Investors avoid blighted corridors, and with them, with them goes the jobs. Right? When you have someone that potentially has the money to go in and bring in a business, a service, and they see blight in the area and too much of it, the chances are more than likely they are not going to put their business there. So, and so when they go, there goes the jobs, there goes the services, there goes the opportunity. Grocery stores close. Okay, that's a much needed business. Grocery stores. You have clinics, that leaves. Banks, they never get there. Okay, they never really get there. All right. So blight suffocates the economic life, the living community. The communities depend and underserved. Let me say that again. Leaving communities dependent and underserved. Okay? That's what happens. It suffocates the economic life, and then you have people that are still in the area. They are basically dependent on something to happen, but that never happens. Okay? Number 7, and this is the reason why you should be concerned about blight. It drains the city resources. And you say, how? Well, the city, and the cities, they, plural, towns, whatever, they spend millions of dollars on mowing and demolishing and policing abandoned sites. Okay, money that could have been used for some other purpose. Money that could have very well made the city or the area grow. All right. So cities pour in millions into mowing and policing and demolishing and monitoring abandoned sites. That money that should be going to growth and opportunity, instead of planting seeds and prosperity, resources are wasted on cleaning up neglected areas. Blight drains the budget and bleeds the city, right? It's like if every day you get up and you find another leak and another leak all over the house, and you constantly trying to fix each of those leaks. It's taxing, it's costly, and it is can be overwhelming. All right, number 8. And this is the one. This is 8 reasons. 8 of 10 reasons why you should be concerned about blighted areas, especially if you live in the area. Okay. Number 8, it erodes community pride. So residents lose hope when they feel surrounded by neglect, which reduces volunteerism, voter turnout, and block unity. I mean, they appear to be overwhelmed. When you live surrounded, and when you live and you're surrounded by abandonment and hopeless, and that kind of stuff kind of gets into your soul. People 9 times out of 10, they're gonna stop voting, they're gonna stop volunteering, they're gonna stop believing. Now, unity is replaced with resignation. Okay, when there is a particular area that's plagued with blight, 9 times out of 10, those people are not going to be productive citizens. They're not going to be productive citizens. Blight tells residents, you don't matter. And when people believe that lie, okay, they stop fighting for the future. When they believe that lie, they stop fighting for the future, that they don't matter. So you see why it is important to be concerned about blight. All right, number 9, it creates a cycle of flight. We talked about that just last week about flight. Okay, blight drives away families with options. So those families that don't have to live in those areas, when there's a blighted area, they got options. They can just leave. Okay, and leaving behind creates more vacancies. They leave, and it creates more vacancies, fewer resources, and deeper decline. Think about that. So, when you have a family that has an option of whether they stay or whether they go, and things are turning blighty, 9 times out of 10, they're going to leave. And that's what has happened. So blight pushes out families with the means to leave. Think about that. Blight pushes out the family that have the means to leave. They leave behind fewer resources, fewer advocates, and more vacancies. That cycle deepens, one boarded up house at a time, until the whole blocks are like a ghost town. So blight is not just neglect, it is engineered removal. That's what it does. All right, number 10, blight blocks generational wealth. It blocks generational wealth. So instead of being an asset passed down, blighted properties become a liability. Instead of an asset being passed down, a blighted property is a liability. That's the truth of it all. Okay, and it locking families and neighborhoods out of the ownership and legacy building factor. So when that is done, you just threw away a piece of something that had potential, that could be a part of a legacy or part of wealth building when there's that blighted property. So instead of being an asset passed down, blighted homes become toxic liabilities. Children inherit debt, not deeds. Neighborhood lose their chance to build equity and legacy. Okay? Blight locks family out of the wealth building process, ensuring poverty gets passed down while opportunity is cut off. Plain and simple. Okay? So blight, okay, is not just an eyesore. It's an economic cancer, a safety cancer, a spiritual cancer that our neighborhoods, our people are suffering. Okay? This is what's going on. Blight is really a cancer. Spreading declines, despair, and death into the heart of our communities. But here's the truth. Blight is not invincible. Blight is not the effort of doing something. It is the effort. It is the non-effort that takes place when you're not doing something. Does that make sense? Any one of us at any given time can take on the responsibility that we're going to take on one blighted property. And that effort alone with a collection of people can eradicate blight. Okay? So it's not invincible. So, and if we, reclaim blight, right? It becomes an opportunity. Okay? When we reclaim blight, when we reclaim abandoned property, okay, what we're actually doing is flipping the script. When we reclaim blighted property, what we're actually doing is flipping the script. What once was symbolized decay became the seed of opportunity. Okay? So you're looking at a blighted property, you're saying, ooh, that's decay. But with a renewed mind, you say, there's an opportunity there for me. Okay? Blight can either bury us, or it can be a battlefield where we win back our neighborhoods, our wealth and our dignity and our future. Okay? If we don't fight blight, it spreads. But if we rise and reclaim it, we build power. And with 4,200 blighted properties in the capital city, there's so much potential in that. Okay? There's so much potential in that. And when we don't take notice of diamonds in the rough, then the very thing that we are searching for, looking for, we never find it, because we fail to understand, to see what a diamond in the rough is. You know, this issue with blight, whether you've got to understand it, whether we buy it or someone else buy it, whoever buys it, is going to take a team of people to make it happen. Okay? It's going to take someone with heart, vision, and soul and the grace to do it, right? And that is especially dealing with our brothers and sisters, you know, when we dealing with each other, okay? Because there's a lot of misunderstanding about blight, what causes blight, and things of that nature, okay? There's a lot of misunderstanding about that. And we just simply need to educate ourselves when it comes to blight, you know, because if we don't, one of the easiest and simplest opportunity to gain wealth is right there in what we call the hood, or areas around the hood, you know. So much potential. I was talking to a partner of mine, and, you know, I've been saying about 10, 15, 20 years, you're not going to be able to stay in Jackson. Well, he says that, you know, he has some associates of the other persuasion, and they're telling him that they're buying up Jackson. And they sitting on it, you know, because less than 10 years, you know, from what he's saying that they're saying to him, you're not going to be able to stay in Jackson. Mark my word, you're not going to be able to. I mean, I said 20 years, but they say not even 20 years. With all that is going on, we're not going to be able to stay in the city of Jackson. And we're 82% of the population. And so we got to take advantage of that. Okay. So that's it for now. And if you are interested in knowing and finding out about the work that we do at ANSOTH, which stands for New Society on the Horizon, go to www.ansoth, fill out the form, get involved. I'm Brother Tinker, signing off, and say peace, love, and light.